morning and welcome to Monday Re Tsene. My name is Jackie van Staden. I'm a clinical psychologist with Pretoria Psychologists. Today we're going to be looking at behaviour modification, changing the behaviour of the young child. Now, all of us have something that we want to change in terms of our children's behaviour. But the key to changing behavior is all about deciding the one behavior that you want to change, because you can only change one at a time. So decide on the behavior that you want to change and then try to express that behavior in terms of the things that you want, in positive terms, not in a series of things that you don't want. And often we do that. Don't cry, don't whine, don't hit your brother. You have to express the change in positive terms. Show the behavior that you would like your child to have. Only change one behavior at a time. And then set out the elements or the steps that will form part of that changed behavior. Try not to have more than 6 elements or steps in that change. And then you show that behavior on the top of a large piece of poster paper. Now you can buy them anywhere, a little bit stiffer than just ordinary paper. And across the top, you're going to have pictures, drawings, clip art, you name it, from where to show the behavior that you want to have across the top of this piece of poster paper. For example, if you want your child to go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night, then you show on the poster, it's 8 o'clock, you brush your teeth, you pee-pee in the potty, you wash your hands, say your prayers, and then climb into bed. And then once you climb into bed, your feet must not touch the ground again. And there mustn't be any call-outs. Mommy, I'm hungry. Or, Daddy, I'm thirsty. Nothing like that. But the child can decide whether they want the light on or off, whether they want the door open or closed. And it's always a good idea to have a CD playing with orchestral music. It helps them relax. Here's the chart now. Across the top, we've got the first thing is choosing your reward. And at 8 o'clock, brush your teeth, pee-pee in the potty, wash your hands, say your prayers, and then get into bed, and your feet don't touch the ground again, and there's no call-outs. Now, the very first picture there is one of the most important steps, because it's the child deciding what is the reward I want first thing tomorrow morning, even before I get dressed or have breakfast. Underneath those pictures, you're going to have a calendar of 28 days. And depending on whether the child gives you what you want or not, you're going to have a smiling or a crying face on that calendar. You have to establish with your child what the rewards are going to be. There's going to be chips and sweets and cool drinks, maybe even something more. But the big issue is those rewards are not available at any time or for any reason other than the behavior that you're working on. So if you're working on a child going to sleep at 8 o'clock at night, That's the only time they can get a reward, is if they give you the behavior that you want. Now, many people say, oh, this is bribery. You know something? It's good economic principles. We're teaching our child for later in life to be a good employee. Everyone gets a job description, and if you give the employer what he wants, you get rewarded with your salary. So we're starting them off young. Every day, a reward must be nominated by the child from the choice of rewards. And this is the child's buy-in to the whole process. They get to choose what the reward is that they want to have the next morning. And then you either draw a smiling or a crying face to indicate a reward earned or not earned. If the child doesn't earn the reward goes back into the supply box. So the basic rules here are, if a child is under the age of 5, so it's 4 and under, it takes 21 days to change a habit or establish a habit. If they're 5 and over, it takes 28 days. So 28 consecutive smileys is equal to a change of behavior. Every few days of smileys, though, you can reward with a special reward, like watching TV or going to play with a friend. Give me 3 smileys in a row and we can go out for lunch on Sunday. That sort of thing. At the end of 21 or 28 days, consecutive days of smileys, that means one day after another with no break in between, you can give a large reward. And, you know, today most kids want games for their phone or their computer, so that's always a good one. And then, of course, you move on to the next targeted behavior. It's a good idea to always have a list that you're working to and prioritize the behaviors you want to change. So if it's sleeping well at night, going to bed at 8, that's the behavior you start with. But maybe the next behavior is getting up in the morning and getting ready for school and getting into your transport in time. Or maybe it's, how do you organize your afternoons? You come home from school, you change your clothes, you do your homework, you have dinner with the family, and then have a bath and go to bed. So whatever you want, just express it in steps across a poster. It also works with timers. It's a very good idea to use, for example, when you're timing a child, I want you to finish your homework in 15 minutes. Then you take your phone, you switch on the clock, and in the clock function, you have a timer. And if you want a child to finish something in a specific amount of time, you set the timer, they can push the button, and right in front of them is the reward. It works like a bomb. I'm going to show you. Here's one of the charts that I use quite often. It's getting up and dressed in the morning, getting up, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, having your breakfast, packing your bags, and being in your transport at whatever hour. And the next one is coming home, hanging up your school clothes, putting on your play clothes, take out your bag, do your homework, and then have supper, take a bath, and climb into bed. This last one is a picture of how to cope with a child who doesn't want to eat. It's a picture of the family sitting together, and there's meat and 3 veg, and then a clean plate. And this is where you use the timer. Let the child have the food in front of him, let him push the timer, and by the time the alarm goes off, he must be finished his dinner, and that plate must be clean in order to get his reward. We call this system behavior modification. It can be used throughout childhood. I kept my children on it until they were in high school. And you'd be amazed at the way you become creative in using it. But I hope the premise is good for you. I hope you can use this. And good luck, because this is the way to change behavior peacefully. Thank you.